Cavs went into Boston yesterday, ended up losing their first game of the season by 3 points. Fell behind big at half. David Dennis, senior writer for Anscape, with his biggest takeaway of the Cavs' first loss of the season to the Celtics.
My biggest takeaway is that the gap between these two teams is not as large as it seemed, at the beginning of the season, definitely when Boston was up by 20 midway through that game. This is going to be a dogfight between these two teams in the East throughout the season and in the playoffs. You look at that barrage of threes that the Celtics had. Even when they was shooting about 70% from three in the first half, they still ended up shooting better than 50%. When they have games like that, they blow teams out. They did that to the Knicks in the first game of the season. They won by 23. But the Cavs came back and hung in there with Donovan Mitchell scoring 35 points. And they did all of this while missing 4 key players, Wade, Strus, LeVert, Okoro, which would help defensively. I think that if you're Cleveland, even though you lost this game, even though your streak is over, you still feel like you can hang with a Boston team that is firing on all cylinders from 3, which is something you have to feel good about.
With that, let's welcome in Sam Amico, hoopswire.com, co-host of Full Court Cleveland. Sam, I couldn't agree with the guy more. That's exactly what the takeaway is. They didn't have Porzingis. Cavs are more equipped to deal with Porzingis than most teams because of Mobley and Allen. And the Cavs didn't have 4 of their starters. They could have folded it up. They find a way to make in-game adjustments. At least they have for 16 games of the season with Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah, that game was better than some of their wins. The way they battled back, and sometimes you just got to tip your cap to the other guy with the Celtics. They were not missing threes at all in the first half. The Cavs made some adjustments there. When they got down by 21, it looked like it was going to be blowout city. But as the Cavs have done all season, when they were trailing by 17 in Milwaukee, they were down in some other games. 9 in Chicago late in the third quarter. They just keep at it. They keep battling. They stick to their principles. And, they ramped up the defense. Boston started missing from beyond the arc. All of those things added up. And you feel like if the Cavs have had another 2 or 3 minutes, maybe they would have pulled that out. So, very promising in terms of what they showed the defending champs on their floor. And, he was right. The Celtics were missing Kristaps Porzingis. Cavs, of course, missing Isaac Okoro, Karis LeVert, Dean Wade, 3 guys who started small forward for them. Not to mention, obviously, Max Strus. So, we'll see different variations of these teams when they play again. And guess what? They play again December 1st, 4 games from now in Cleveland. So we'll get another look at it. But, yeah, I think the Cavs showed a lot of positive things despite suffering their first loss barely in 16 games.